Hi everybody, and welcome to another brand new episode of On the Job with Copeland Tucker. And today I'm going to be a firefighter. I'm going to talk to some firefighters, see how they train, and maybe learn some things that I didn't know about this profession. And hopefully you will too. It's all coming up on the job. I'm here with Mr. Bill Haynes, the Deputy Chief of the Coweta County Fire Department since 1996. What are the best and worst parts of your job?
Copeland, I'd like to welcome you out to the Coweta County Fire Department today. Glad you could make it out.
I'm glad I could be here.
This is a good job. It has some good parts and bad parts. You know, the good parts are that you can finally help somebody out that in time of emergency they need something and you can help them out. You know, I don't know if it has any bad parts or not, but it does have more good parts than bad.
But are there any things about the job that you don't particularly like?
Well, not necessarily. This job is varied from. It's a variety of things I have to do as Deputy Chief of the Coweta County Fire Department. I'm in charge of all the daily operations that go on here, the spending, the personnel, training, you know, everything kind of rotates through me on a daily basis. So I have my hand on about everything in this department at one time or the other.
Why did you want to be a fireman?
Copeland is something I've always wanted to do. I like helping people when they need it in time of emergencies, you know. I like the adrenaline rush that you get when you have to go out and help somebody at times. It's just and there's something to do different every day.
Now, are there any misconceptions about being a firefighter?
Well, the public thinks that we sit around and play checkers and just sit around waiting on a call to go in, but our calls are usually the smallest thing that we do. We do a lot of training, we do a lot of public relations, do a lot of maintaining our equipment, physical training we do. It's just a lot goes on behind the scenes that you don't see.
How often do you have to go out and put out a fire?
We have 104 certified firefighters that actually put out the fire. But I supervise fireground operations. I make sure everything's running smooth at a fire. Call in additional resources. Just whatever goes on at a fire, I usually supervise it.
How often do your firefighters go out and fight a fire? Is it like every day or is it maybe once a week?
Bad fires, maybe once or twice a week. We have structure fires, something like that. We respond mostly to wrecks, medical calls, fire calls, distress calls, any type of call that 911 sends us, we respond to it, no matter what it is.
Back when you were just a fireman and you were fighting fires, was there ever a part of you that was really scared to go into a fire and fight it?
You're probably not human if you're not scared of a fire, you know. Back in those days, you know, we responded to mostly fires. Back in the 70s, 80s, along in there, we had mostly fires that we responded to. So we went to enough of them back then that you kind of got used to it, you know. So yeah, I respect fire, you know, but the department has the equipment to handle a fire with, you know, and the people we put on the trucks are trained to handle it quite well. So yeah, it's times when you should be scared of a fire, but more so respect it.
What did you start off doing, and how did you get the interest in the first place to become a firefighter?
Well, I've worked at various jobs in high school and out of high school, and went to college and just piddled around with this and that, and these jobs came about, you know, in the meantime. So I applied for it and got very much more interested in it, and just worked my way to my present position.
How did you get to where you are today?
I've been here since 1976, Copeland, and I've taken training, responded to calls, been loyal to the department, and been very interested in the operation of this county. I'm a lifelong resident of the county, so I just worked my way through to this position I'm in today.
If you had to come back in another life and could choose any job out there, would you still want to be involved in this field?
If I had to do it all over again, I would still choose the road I've chose, is to be a firefighter and help the people of this county and city and in the country.
I'm here with Firefighter Williams, and he's going to give us an exclusive tour of the firefighter living quarters. So you ready to do it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so what do you want to show me first?
First in headquarters, fire station number 6. Just come into our day room. We have our little kitchen over here as well.
Now there's some firefighters who can cook real well. Do they ever cook for y'all?
Yeah, there's a handful of us can cook. Everybody else wants to go out to eat most of the time, but this is what we do. Our little cooking, stuff like that. Wash our dishes. That's our eating table and our little dining room.
Oh wow, looks nice.
This is our day room. This is where afternoons and we done all our chores and stuff like that. We get to kick back a little bit. But this is where we take it easy and watch the television in the late afternoons.
And how much time during the day do you have to just relax?
Well, we got chores and station duty stuff to do, and we really don't get to come in here maybe at lunch break and late afternoon after 5 o'clock. We come in and watch some television.
What sort of chores do you have to do?
Well, Friday, each day had its own chores. Monday's truck washing days. We have to clean the trucks inside and out in the compartments. Tuesday's grass day, we cut grass, stuff like that. Wednesday's bay day, we clean all the bay up from the ceiling down to the floor. And Thursday's inside day, we do house cleaning on Thursdays.
Wow, lots of chores.
And then Friday's a makeup day, stuff like that, training, territorial training. Plus we have our every morning we do sweep, mop, make sure the bathroom's clean, stuff like that.
Well, how about we go see y'all's beds and bunk rooms?
Yeah. This area here's our locker room area here. You know, each guy's got his own locker. We sort of his little home away from home. Okay, this here's our bunk rooms here.
Nice.
All firefighters in the county, we're here 24 hours shifts. There's 3 shifts. And at night time, when everything's done, we get to come back and get some sleep.
Looks comfortable.
We still have to respond to any calls that go out throughout the night. If it's this station or any other station, if everything's quiet, we get a full night's sleep. If it's busy, then we up most of the night.
I'm here with firefighter Cadenhead right in front of engine 6. Now, firefighter Cadenhead, before you can take this engine out, I'm sure you know right when you start your shift, you have to check and see if everything in this truck is all right. So, could you show us real quickly what you do?
Sure.
At the beginning of each day.
When we come in every morning, the first thing we do is we start off by doing a radio check, and what it does is goes through the whole county, and each truck identifies itself on the radio, and it's almost like a roll call type thing.
Oh, wow.
It straight up 8 o'clock unless there's emergency calls going on. And then after the radio check, we just go through our truck, and we have an actual checklist, and it shows anything that's wrong on the truck from the day before or anything like that. It also documents, you know, this truck right here. It stays in a record, and it stays with it from now on. If there's any kind of problem that persists continuously, it will just show a pattern.
And how old is this truck right here?
This truck was put in service January 24, 2003.
Oh, so does it say this on every truck about when it was put in service?
All our newer trucks do.
Wow.
That's
So
something
could
new
you
that started.
take us through the checklist maybe?
Sure. Like we come in the morning, and we just we turn our battery switch on, and we fire it up. You hear the little click. That's the radio coming on. And then
Good truck.
we'll just go through the whole process. There's so much equipment that you have to go through and make sure it's there, because if you have a call the day before, it can very easily get left. Right here, this is all our attack lines. There's 200 feet on each one.
Wow.
And we control our attack lines by here. And we call it fireman proof because it's color coordinated. See, pre-connect 3 is yellow, pre-connect 3, so it's pretty easy to find, especially at night
Now,
time.
how many firemen have to be holding that hose when it's on full blast?
Well, there's a lot of times where one man's on that hose.
Oh, wow.
Today, there's only one man on this engine, and it's a lot. There's still a lot of stations out that still have one man on it until the backup gets there, and then the captain, he'll have 2 firemen with him as well. So that's what we run out of here at Station 6. We have a captain's truck with 2 firemen and a captain, and then a fireman on the engine.
And is the hose really, really powerful?
Yes, it pumps at 150 psi.
What's PSI?
Pounds square inch, I think it is, something like that.
Wow.
But
That's pretty powerful.
It's you know, I mean, you got all your gauges right here. You run them up to, you got your PSIs and all that. But anyway, it's a lot of pressure. One man can hold it, and when you get the bigger hoses, it's rough. But it will wear one man down.
It will.
About 10 minutes or so is usually when he's there by himself or something like that. But then you have the other folks that come in and back you up. So we'll move along here. We got our medical jump bag.
Always important.
Yeah, we have an AED and O2 and all that. We can do pretty our basic life support with this truck. And we have different ropes. We got a utility rope for pulling up things up a second level or something like that. And we have our spanner wrenches. We use all our hoses and all this stuff that I'm talking about is on this checklist. So we have to make sure every day stuff's on there. And it takes about an hour to thoroughly check this truck off.
Wow.
All right, back here in the back, we got our extrication tools. A lot of folks know of it, Jaws of Life. We call it our hearse tools. But here's your Jaws of Life spreaders.
Now, what are the Jaws of Life doing?
It's a spreader that if you have like somebody trapped in a car or industrial accident or something like that, it's a hydraulic tool that'll actually spread. Then we have a hydraulic tool here that'll cut. These are our cutters. And then we have a ram that spreads out a long ways. But these things weigh about 75 pounds.
Whoa.
You want to hold it right there?
I'll try. Oh, that is pretty heavy.
And right here we have what we call salvage covers. It's just a heavy-duty tarp, pretty much.
Okay.
But if we have a fire and there's still good stuff in the house, we can cover like their furniture and things like that, and keep from water getting on it.
How many fire stations are in the whole county?
We have 14 full-time stations, yeah.
That's a lot.
Which we don't have volunteers anymore, so we have 14 stations, and some of them have more than one man, but we still have a few that want one-man stations.
And how far out is your radius? How far out do you usually have to go to?
This engine right here covers a direct 5 miles radius.
But it doesn't take you too long to get there.
No, our response time is usually before 7 minutes.
Oh, that's good.
But we back up the Moreland station. We might even back up the city of Noonan on some stuff. We back up our Station 1 on Highway 29, and we also back up Engine 5 off of Smoky Road. So
Okay.
you might be you're more like a 10-mile radius, but your first response would be a 5-mile radius. So the bell there, it's pretty loud. We just use that for parades and things like
Now,
that.
do you use the fire truck for any other purposes besides fighting a fire?
Yeah, we use it for parades and special situations. I mean, we've even done birthday parties and things like that. So people have been at the fire station, and we've been there to people's houses.
Well, thank you so much for talking to us, firefighter Caden Head. I mean, I had no idea that these trucks had so much stuff.
My average time is 1 minute.
Wow.
Here we have the helmet. We have the Nomex hood that covers his ears and the back of his neck. You have your mask to breathe with. Then you have your coat, and underneath the coat you have the suspenders that hold the pants up. And then you have your boots. And there's three layers to this. You have the thermal layer, which is real thick. He's probably sweating. But here's your thermal layer. Here's your moisture barrier that keeps from water trying to get on you and everything. And then you have your outer layer that protects you from cuts and fire as well.
This is heavy.
But also, with all the gear on, everything that you wear is roughly around 75, 80 pounds. And it's made of Nomex Kevlar material, which is a fire retardant.
I feel like Darth Vader. I'm here with Captain Smith, who's in charge of firefighter training for the whole county. What got you interested in this job? How did you come into this career?
Well, I came out of the military, and I enjoyed being in the military except for the travel. And this is a paramilitary organization, so
Really?
well, I've been in the fire service, so it has its similarities to the military, and I don't have to leave home. So that's the first thing that attracted me to it.
What are some misconceptions people might have about your job and what you do?
Well, most people that see the firefighters at the fire stations are not doing anything. That's because when you pull up, there's not a call going on. They don't see the times that when they pull up and nobody comes to the door, what they're actually doing. They don't realize that the stress and the actual hard work it is when they're on the fire calls. You know, sure, it's easy around the department, but it's hard when you get out there and the bell rings.
How do you train these firefighters to get them ready for what they might have to face?
The training, I try to make it as realistic as possible. We have actual live fires, and the closer you can train to reality, the safer they'll be once they leave here and actually go on the fire go to a firehouse for assignment. So, like I said, I just try to keep it as close to the real thing as possible.
What are some things that a firefighter absolutely has to know how to do in order to be in this career?
Things he's got to know is he's got to know how to use the equipment he's given. The firemen are issued all the safety equipment they need, and if they use it properly, that'll minimize their chance of being injured. They've got to know their own limitations. That's the reason I push them hard out here, so they'll know how far they can go. So if they can use their equipment and they know their own limitations, then we can build on that for whatever specialized job tasks they have to do.
How long does training last?
Coweta County, the training is 12 weeks long. It goes through basic firefighter training. We teach them first responder training. We teach them hazmat awareness training, and we teach them driver's training, because unlike other departments, when our guys come out, they're going to be driving a fire engine, where most departments, the guys start riding in the back seat for a year or two before they start driving. So our training here is pretty intensive.
How many firefighters today have a college education? Do you think it's important to have a college education as a firefighter?
A lot of the firefighters that come in today don't come in with college education. However, as they progress and want to move up in a career, a college education is very, very important. When I started out, I had a high school education. I've gone through the fire science associate's degree. There's some of the guys here that are working on their bachelor's degree. So we have, that's pretty important. It's very important when they're wanting to advance in this career.
What is some advice you would give to maybe a kid watching this who wants to be a firefighter?
Being a firefighter is a dream of most kids. You know, nearly all the kids play cowboys and Indians, want to be a firefighter, or play cops and robbers. If they want to be a firefighter, they need to stay physically in good physical condition, and they need to be able to take information that they can read and put it in their hands. So, and basically what I mean by that, if you can read a book, you need to be able to take that knowledge that you got and be able to apply it to what you need to be doing. Because it's one thing to have it in your mind, but it's another thing to take that information and be able to get somebody out of a wrecked car, or get somebody that's trapped in a house out, that type of stuff.
Captain Smith, it looks like we're in some sort of haunted house, but exactly what is this building right here that we're in?
Okay, what we're in is a training tower. This is 3 stories, and connected to the training tower is where we do our live fire training. Ooh. But on this particular floor right here, we have a sprinkler system in here that was donated to us, and we actually use this for training. It actually has water flowing through it, and it has the sprinkler heads in here, so we can set up different scenarios for the firefighting. And this room is also used just for storage of our hose and what have you.
And now this building is used for training for the firefighters. You actually set this building on fire so the firefighters can go and fight it, or am I wrong?
Down this hall right here, we have rooms that we can burn in, and
really?
the burning air in there will get up to around 1,200 degrees in there, and then we'll send the smoke through here. We don't actually heat this up because these blocks wouldn't handle the heat that much.
And just to give you a picture of what this building is like, there's hardly any windows. It's dark and it smells like smoke, which gives me a big clue that your firefighters train in here a lot. But could you give us a little tour of some of the rooms in here?
Sure, I'll tell you what. We'll go floor to floor.
Okay.
Yeah, this particular room right here, we use it for a collapse room, where we train for in a situation where a firefighter is in an area that collapses on top of him and he's able to get out.
So how do you simulate the feeling of a room collapsing over a firefighter?
Okay, what we do is we spread out these drums in here, and we take these old ladders. These are old training ladders that are bent and not used in service anymore. And we just place them on top of the drums, and then we weave the hose through here. And the firefighters have to go through this breathing air on their SCBA blindfolded, following this hose, without bumping and knocking things over. If they go through here like a bull in a china shop and hit this stuff, then everything's going to come down on them. Yep. And that's the whole point in a collapse situation. You want to be careful so you don't cause secondary collapses. So anyway, we have little snags in here for them, and if you look on the walls, also have chains where we can chain items up where they'll swing into them to pin them in.
They have to walk through this whole room blindfolded, right?
Yes.
Can't see a thing.
They go through this whole building blindfolded during hose evolutions.
I guess that's what you have to deal with when you're really on the job, though. You could be in that kind of situation.
That's right. If you're in a house fire, you're not going to be able to see because of the smoke. And these hoses that are laid through here is what they train on. They have to follow these in and out. And I'll show you something over here. If you're looking at the hose compass, what I train them on is if they're in a collapse situation and they have to get out, they can find the coupling and know how to go to the truck.
How's that?
All right, smooth, bump, bump, takes you to the pump.
Oh, okay.
So they have to feel that and follow their way out. The other scenario that we use, we use this smooth bump bump for self-rescue. The other thing that we look for is if a team goes down inside a house, we have to send in a RIT team, which is a rapid intervention team.
Okay.
The RIT team will have to go from outdoors, follow the nozzles in, or follow the hose into the nozzle and locate the team and bring them out if they're trapped.
Wow.
So we train on two things: one, self-escape, and two, how to get the firefighters out if they go down. So safety and backup safety situations is very important to us.
Of course, definitely. Now, why in the world would a firefighter need to train using a maze like this?
Okay, a maze is, what we use this for is for the search and rescue. The firefighters have to be able to go through and do a right-hand wall search or a left-hand wall search. And they have to be able to maneuver through a building without becoming entangled in whatever's falling. Heating and air duct work, suspended ceiling wires or what have you. So what we do is put rope in here.
Okay.
And again, they're going through this blindfolded, following the hose. And if they get tangled up, they have to get themselves freed. And we also use a nut, a bolt, and a washer for training purposes.
And what is that?
And what we do is lay them out in here, and when they go through doing their search and rescue, they have to find the nut and the bolt and the washer and put them together. And my theory on that is if they can find a nut and a bolt and a washer, they can find a little kid if they was in the house.
That makes sense. I mean, kid's about 100 times bigger, right?
That's right. We also, in this, we have pipes that they have to go through.
They have to crawl through these pipes?
Yes.
See, that must be hard for a big guy, too. I saw some of those firefighters in there. They're pretty big. That must be.
It is, but everybody in there can go through it.
And what is the purpose of going through a little pipe like this?
It's a confidence builder.
Confidence builder?
And it also checks to make sure they're not claustrophobic. And the reason you can't be claustrophobic is because you're going to be bundled up in firefighting gear. Then you're going to be having to wear a mask over your face. Mm-hmm. So it's a way to test to make sure they can, if they are claustrophobic, they got to overcome it. There's nothing wrong with being scared of something, but having the ability to overcome that fear and continue on is what we're looking for here.
Okay. Well, we finally reached the top, and one thing I noticed is that there's hoses everywhere. Why are there hoses all through this building?
There's right now there's 700 foot of hose through this building, and that's what we call a hose evolution. I'll charge the hose at the bottom, put a nozzle on the other end, and we'll blindfold the firefighter, have him breathe in air, and he has to follow this hose the full 700 feet. The point of that is to make sure he can maintain control of the hose is one, and two, if he can follow this hose 700 feet, he could actually escape from a 70-story building.
Wow.
So
wow.
We don't have anything near that big around here.
Yeah.
But I'd feel confident that they wouldn't get trapped in the smaller buildings that we have in County.
Noonan's growing so much, we might see those pretty soon. But any other particular purpose for this lever right here?
Oh yes, the other thing, this right here is our attic simulators. Mm-hmm. And if you've ever seen a house under construction, this will look like the roof part. And we teach the firefighters to go through the attics of houses searching for fires without falling through. Most houses would be sheetrock under here, which would actually be the ceiling, mm-hmm. and then insulation in here. So we teach them how to go through the attics without falling through.
What is that thing right there with the clown and the tunnel?
That right there is our confined space simulator. It's actually 84 feet of pipe they have to crawl through.
84 feet. I also see some school buses over there. What do you use those for?
We actually train on school bus accidents, how to extricate children and drivers from the buses.
Oh, important stuff.
Yes, and we also have one set up for the sheriff's department that they train for hostage situations. And the burnt van over there, that's what we use for our car fire training. It actually goes on that platform to the far right, and we feed it with natural gas, and that's how we simulate a car fire. That way we don't have to burn tires and gasoline, that type of thing.
Okay, I'm also a little bit afraid of heights, and so to see what a firefighter has to go through, I'm going to try to go up this ladder. Not all the way, but I'll let you see how far I can go. Oh, okay. That's enough for me. I mean, seriously, one thing I've learned on this job is that firefighters have to deal with things that a lot of people wouldn't want to deal with. Claustrophobia, climbing up large stairways like this, and I have a newfound respect for these firefighters for what they do.
Firefighter Bobby is going to climb up. The ladder right now is raised 80 feet at 78 degrees. He's going to climb to the top, or the third rung down, lock in with a leg lock, lean back and clap his hands over his head, and then he's going to return to the ground. At least that's what we're hoping for.
Look at him go. So right now he's not attached to anything?
No.
Just him.
But once he gets up, there's two ways for safety. One is a leg lock. You run your leg over the rung and hook it in. That's one way to attach yourself to the ladder. The other way is with a Class 1 ladder belt, and that's what we'll demonstrate on the second round.
Okay.
Another reason we extend the ladders out into space like this for the training purposes is it looks higher when the firefighters are going up it. If they climb the ladder and I've got it extended over the tower here, it doesn't have the same effect as it does if it's just stuck straight up in the air out in the parking lot. And again, this is just like going through the pipes that we have upstairs. It's a confidence builder, and again, firefighters have to work from elevated areas, high ladders, what have you.
I can see that.
So it's to make sure they're going to be able to handle themselves in these different situations.
Okay.
And you notice right now he's just going up wearing his helmets and gloves,
Uh-huh.
because this is actually the first time he's been up this ladder.
Really? So this is first time?
First time. And what we'll do as we progress, we're going to add the bunker gear, then we're going to add a SCBA, and then they'll be breathing air. I mean, y'all won't be here for all that, but instead of throwing it all on them at one time, we let the guys build up to it.
See that.
All right, sticking his leg through the rung. He's gonna bring his foot back through on the other side and hook it in.
Okay.
And then he unhooks and comes down. That's one way of locking in to work off the ladder, where if you slip, you won't fall. Okay, this right here is recruit Willie Cooper. And I've had a lot of people tell me that there's no way a firefighter could fit through these pipes. So Willie is 6'4", 225 pounds, and he's gonna go in this pipe right here.
Whoa.
All right. Now the reason you go in here, one, we're testing on claustrophobia. We're testing on the ability to work in confined spaces, and also, I think that proves the point right there. All right, you good? Also, how many culverts are there like that in Coweta County for kids to play in and kids to get stuck in? So if we go in, we got to be able to get to the patient or the victim and bring them back out. So like I said, I've had a lot of people tell me there's no way a firefighter can fit in these. So again, we use the biggest man we got here today. All right, Willie, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, I hope you liked the tour of the tower, and I hope you learned some stuff about firefighters you might not have known before. It's getting way too hot out here for me, so I'm going to go. Thank you so much for watching On the Job with Copeland Tucker, and be sure to tune in next time. See ya. Well, I'm wearing this, but I'm going to try to overcome my fear of claustrophobia, see if I could be a firefighter, okay? I'm going to try to go a little bit through this, this tunnel right here. Wish me luck. Whoa, this is not fun. Okay, I think I'm coming out. There we go. Ow. Okay, yeah. Tough stuff.